Tonight on the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror, it has been said that revenge is a dish best served cold. But for Dr. Phibes, revenge is a dish best served with a show. Tonight's movie, The Abominable Dr. Phibes.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror! All hope is lost. Yes, all hope is lost, my friends. But fear not, for tonight and tomorrow night, I am going to be reviewing movies starring one of my favorite old school horror actors. The one, the only, the iconic Vincent Price. Yes, Vincent Price, yes. So, without further ado, the two movies that I'm going to be reviewing back to back tonight and tomorrow night are The Abominable Dr. Phibes and Dr. Phibes Rises Again. So, what is Dr. Phibes all about? Well, it stars the titular Dr. Phibes as his revenge-filled machinations are coming to fruition. You see, his wife unfortunately died while being operated on, and so he blames those responsible. Or not responsible. He blames those who were in the operating theater to be responsible for her death. And so he now goes on a rampage, killing each one by one, while the hapless authorities try to figure out what exactly is going on. So, let's get to those scores, shall we? Violence and gore, I am going to give this one a 2 out of 5. It is a surprisingly bloody movie for a movie that is like PG-13, whatever. You know, what it was back in the day. Surprisingly bloody. There are several deaths. They are done in kind of a theatrical trap type way. I mean, there's like this mask that just crushes the guy's head while he's in it. There's a bunch of flying bats that are released into somebody's home. You know, it's great. Oh, well, what was it like? Someone got iced. Oh, I think also a lady got her face eaten off. But you know, you don't see like much of it happening. Some of it's off camera, but still surprisingly bloody. 2 out of 5. Moving on to Shock Value, I'm going to give this a 1 out of 5, just because you might think, oh man, this be kind of like a gateway horror movie for kids. No, not really. There's the violence in here is a little shocking. So 1 out of 5. The plot, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5. I like the fact that it jumps into the revenge and doesn't really tell you exactly what's going on, instead of like some movies where it'll show you what happened and set up the vengeance plot right from the beginning. Now this one kind of like, you know, hits you like, oh man, what's going on? Why is this happening? And it's like, and they reveal piece by piece as it goes. So actually, I guess maybe my summation at the beginning might be a little spoilerish, I guess. I don't know. Forget what I said in the beginning of the movie. Beginning of the review. Anyways, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the fact that it is somewhat tongue-in-cheek, kind of a horror comedy. The bungling inspectors are played for laughs, which I did enjoy. However, toward the end of the movie, it was just getting weird and strange and kind of like fell apart in a bit. But overall, still fine. 3 out of 5. Moving on to acting, I'm giving this a 4 out of 5. Vincent Price, mwah, mwah. chef's kiss. Actually, I think everyone really did a pretty good job. Yeah, sir, some of it was a little overblown, some of it was a little hammy, so I can't give it a 5, but I think everyone really did a really good job with this one, so great, 4 out of 5. My overall impression... Oh, sorry. Moving on. Sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. Moving on to Nudity, 0 out of 5. Yeah. Moving on to Enjoyment Factor, 4 out of 5. I enjoy these old school British horror movies. Vincent Price is just commanding presence, even like his voice and his just gravitas just say, hey, pay attention. So, and I like the revenge aspects. I like how the story unfolded. Yes, it got weird, but I do kind of like weird, right? So anyways, 4 out of 5. And my overall impression is a 4 out of 5. This is a very solid horror movie that you would probably show someone who doesn't really like, oh man, I don't want it to be too gory. Oh man, I don't want it to be too disgusting. I don't want it to be too intense. This is one of those fun movies that you can watch with someone who might not be as big a horror nut as you. But, I mean, Vincent Price, who cannot love Vincent Price? And yes, I mean, even though I said like some of the violence is kind of intense, I think, young adults, it's teens, can appreciate this kind of movie and, maybe start a conversation about history, right? Because God knows they'll be like, where's the cell phones? What's all this crap? Anyways, but solid 4 out of 5. And that averages out to a 2.6 out of 5, which, sadly, it didn't score well with the bonus points. But this is one of those examples where the average score, like literally, I think if the average score is like higher than like 2.2, I think it's doing a pretty good job. Honestly, I think that's kind of like the average. Not 2.5 because of bonus point things, but if you can squeeze into that 2.2 and above, it either is filled with lots of blood and sex and nudity and stuff like that, which is fine, which is great, or it's got like some good acting, some good plot, some memorable moments. Anyway, so there you have it. The Abominable Dr. Phibes. Yes, oh my goodness, this is kind of a short one. Well, it's hard to do a synopsis of this movie without just saying what the whole movie is, because it's just pretty straightforward until you get toward the end. But I don't want to talk about the end stuff because that's going to be for later. If you know what I mean. I mean, obviously there's a sequel here, but I do like that it's horror, but it is comedy. But they definitely don't. They can sort of interlap, but it's not like straight up like Shaun of the Dead, which is kind of like ridiculous horror comedy where you really don't like fear for the characters. Like in this one, there is definite like he's gonna murk people. People are getting murked, and you feel sympathetic for the character, but you also go like the character's wrong and evil. Anyways. So it's layered. It's not clearly like so ridiculous. Just there's some moments of ridiculousness that kind of like, add a little levity to everything. So there you have it. The Abominable Dr. Phibes. Yes, I used to for a long time just called it Phibes until I actually watched it and heard it called Phibes. So yeah, well, there you go. So there you have it. Thank you for watching another episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror. And I Hope that you can rate, comment, and subscribe and tell me what you think. Have you seen The Abominable Dr. Phibes? What did you think about it? Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? All that stuff. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell, the notifications, and the thing, and the da, 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 ba, and the yada, and the ba with the ba, da, bang, a dang, dee, dees. I apologize. Anyways, so... And once again, thank you for watching another episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror. And remember to stay scary, Internet. And as always, before you go flying your plane, it's probably a good idea to check for rats. Hungry, gnawing, big, mean, nasty rats. Because, when you're up there, hundreds, even maybe 1,000 feet into the air, we might not be able to, get away from them, It's not really snakes on a plane, but it's rats, so... Just saying, always check make sure there's no, rabid animals or things that can just, gnaw your face off. Just gonna put that out there. All right. Part of your pre-flight checks, man. Part of your pre-flight checks. All right. Yeah. Brah.